Attention carriers, brokers, and dispatchers. You're tuned into the eCarrier Check channel, where we bring you the insider tips, tricks, and insights to drive your sales and logistics business to new heights. Each week, your hosts, Jared and Nate, sit down with the top professionals in the industry, diving deep into everything from prospecting and cold calling to maintaining carrier relationships and maximizing your bottom line. Learn real-world strategies, hear success stories, and get actionable advice you can implement in your business today. So buckle up and get ready for an entertaining and informative ride. This is the eCarrier Check channel, your source for can't-miss logistics intelligence. Stay tuned.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the eCarrier Check Show. Excited to be here. We got top of the Friday, man. This is it. We got through the week. And we have got an incredible guest on. First timer. I'm super excited for this. How is it going? Introduce yourself, Lita. What is up? How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I'm very excited. So I'm Lida. I am a former truck driver. I started my logistics journey back in 2016, being an over-the-road reefer driver with Hertzbach. I still have my certificate over there. I was a rising star truck driver, and that was my first exposure to logistics, and I gained first-hand experience through truck driving. After that, I was a fleet manager, dispatcher of 12 trucks, and the last 4 years, I have been doing freight brokering and coaching students who want to get into logistics and freight brokering world. I also started my AI agency lately that I help with AI in supply chain, manufacturing, tracking, recruiting companies, freight brokerage. So everything about logistics.
Oh, that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
woo, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, the reason why we got you on is everything you just said. You were in the driver's seat. You did some dispatching. Now you're brokering. Wow. I mean, you really seen it and done it all.
Yep, that's me.
Wow. Interesting.
That's
Okay.
incredible. Well, I honestly, I kind of want to break down, everything that you talked about. Obviously AI is kind of a hot topic right now. Let's dive into that a little bit and understand what you're doing there with that and understand how you're kind of jumping into that space specific to supply chain and logistics.
Yes, for sure. So I partnered with an amazing company, Aslan Advisory, that has lots of experience in that space. And we have been doing some AI automation and robotics in different manufacturing, supply chain, warehouse companies. One of the projects we have worked was a warehouse company that has hazardous materials, and they were trying not to expose people to keep them safe and secure. So we implemented this robotic system to not have any access for people, but still keep the operation going. We have done some conveyors for automobile industry. And I also do lead generation through AI, right, for recruiting companies, freight brokerage companies. I would say it is wide. I'm still trying to kind of find that niche. Of course, it is going to be through logistics and supply chain. So we will see how it will go. It is a new adventure for me, but I'm very excited. I'm learning. Yesterday, we had a training with an amazing person who has been in logistics for 40 years. And he's also teaching about AI and stuff. I will have on my podcast him as a guest next week. So
Nice.
Yes, it is going really fast, and we have to catch up. That's all I
Yeah,
can say. Yes.
it is going really fast. It almost feels, like it's something that it's almost hard to catch.
Yeah. Well, it is calculated that by 2030, AI would be 1.3 trillion dollar industry. So we need to catch up. But this is just the beginning.
Yeah,
What it
yeah,
looks like.
absolutely. Well,
Mhm.
I love that you're jumping in feet first, because that's honestly for those people that are watching, or the people that are in this industry that even just haven't started to do some prompting on ChatGPT, or understanding some of what it does and how it does. You just jump in,
Yeah.
and it's going to be hard to start, but that's the only way you can do it. I love that you take that approach and just kind of dive into everything in my mind, and I love that fearless kind of attitude. Let's jump over to you teach quite a bit of people. You teach them not only your journey, but some of the scars that you've gotten, lessons you've learned, things like that. You've helped how many brokers now get started in the industry?
I had over 300 students through group coaching, one-on-one mentorship, and through my Freight Freedom program last year. I started it last year. And of course, that was my kind of secondary business. That's why I didn't put all of my effort there. But it has been an amazing experience. Some of my students, they have seen quite a bit of like good success, which I'm very proud of and excited. And some of my students, of course, they have to put more action, because that's how we get results, right? I can give all the information. I am not keeping anything secret. I can show everything, but I cannot force anyone to put action. And I think that is the most important thing in any business, especially in logistics, because this is, business that you have to put the reps. The more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more opportunities you get.
Mhm. Yeah, no, Jared and I were just talking about that before we went live. It's just, you're right. The more you do something, the better you get at it. Just like riding a bike, right?
Yep.
With you being in that carrier seat, do you help a lot of carriers as well, along with the freight brokers?
Yes, I had actually some one-on-one students that they were coming from carrier side. I was helping them to get direct shippers. Some of them, they also opened their freight brokerage, and they were trying to have, of course, the brokerage side and the carrier side. I think drivers and carriers trust me more because I have been in their shoes and I understand what they are going, and I can relate to them. I help some truck recruiting companies to get more leads, as far as, hiring drivers with big brands like Swift, US Express. So I'm using my, network to help everyone, I guess, in logistics field.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's tough. We started actually gaining a lot more carriers on our channel, and they're all looking for direct shippers. So I'm really happy to hear that you were in that seat. And when you were in the seat, were you also finding your own direct shippers, or did you already have some things set up for you when you were driving? How did that look when you started driving? Great question.
So when I started driving, as I said, this was a very big company, Hertzbach, and they had very big contracts with Tyson and big brands for meat and cheese. So we only was doing this contracting freight. But of course, I was just a driver. We had a dispatcher. He was just assigning us the lots. But for my fleet, I got a contract with BMW as a subcontractor, and we were doing some local runs. And when we started that trucking company, it was a boom after COVID. So I guess spot rates was better than contracting rates. So I was doing mostly, I would say, spot rates, but I had these two local contracts. One was BMW, and another one was manufacturing, again based out of South Carolina, plastic manufacturing company.
Mm.
That's incredible. I love that your
Yeah.
journey just continues to evolve. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's insane to go from a driver 10 years ago, or nearly 10 years ago,
Yes.
to handling,
Uh-huh.
or helping in that automation of things. That's super incredible. I love that.
So this certificate, which I'm very proud because people don't believe. So as you can see, it is my name here, and this is Hertzberg, and it is saying Rising Star Gold.
I
That's
love
it.
that.
I'm happy I keep this. This is like very important certificate. It shows my resilience and the hardship that I have gone. Because let's be honest, being a truck driver, especially a woman, is not easy. Even though I was a team truck driver with my ex-husband, it was still not easy. You know, being on the road, not having access to regular life like bathroom, restroom anytime, or not being able to cook. So it was really a challenge. So I, keep this certificate as a reminder that how far I have come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just, honestly, like, this is just a really good example of, you go through these challenges and you look where you're at now, right? You just pushed your way. You didn't give up. So good for you. Keep that thing up there forever, because that really is just a nice reminder where you started and look where you're at. Because, we talked to a lot of carriers, and I talked to quite a bit that, that are single parents. And I'm like, how do you do it? How are you on the road? How do you, get paperwork done, things like that. So it is not easy. So kudos to you and all the drivers out there that are just on the road,
Oh
man.
my
It's
gosh,
tough.
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible resilience. When you're teaching, for those of you that are watching, we work with a lot of new brokers and carriers as well. What besides action, what is something that they can be doing to just get a little bit better for the rest of this year, or grow their business for the rest of this year? Or what are you seeing that's really important that they keep kind of pushing through?
I think most of the time mistakes people do, and I am guilty too, that sometimes when you get few customers, you get so busy that you stop prospecting, you stop reaching out to these decision makers, networking, right, building that relationship. I would say that even like if it is just 1 hour, 2 hour a day, if they already have book a business, just continue connecting through LinkedIn, going to local events, right, networking events, or just doing 10 phone calls. It adds up, because if you do like even 10 calls 5 days a week, in the end of the year you will make like over, I think, 400-500 a call. And of course, making sure that you keep that pipeline coming, because customers might leave, especially for freight brokers, agents. Well, we don't have contracts, right? They can leave anytime, or the business can shut down, or some changes will happen. They will fire the logistics manager that you have been working, which happened to me. And when they fire, I guess you are fired too, because new people come in, they bring their new people. So also very important to build relationship, not only with one person, but few people that you can also continue working with a company if something goes wrong. I think that is most important things when you are trying to grow. Just keep prospecting and try to outsource, whatever is possible. I would say like sales is important to do, but operation, track and tracing, it is possible uh, to outsource and to hire people that you can like continue prospecting and bringing more business.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because one bad load, you can lose a customer anytime, whether it's lack of communication or you just didn't give enough information to the carrier. It can just be gone in a second. So you're right. You have to keep calling, prospecting, and just filtering out your pipeline. And that's where I think my next question is, a lot of people struggle with that pipeline. They're not even really sure, should I keep this person here or this customer here? Is this is this a dead lead? There are still a lot of people that are kind of, where do I go with this? You know what I mean, Lita? What kind of, what kind of advice do you have for those that are struggling with their pipeline, or maybe struggling to notice patterns, whether it's carriers or with shippers? What kind of advice do you have for those people?
So one thing that came to my mind when you asked this question is sometimes we think that this is a good lead, right? Potential lead, but it is not. So I would say that just being open that any lead might be a good opportunity, because there are companies that are related to each other. There are people that are not putting themselves out there, but they are big guys and they make big decisions. And I have had a couple of those customers that you look their LinkedIn profile, they don't have pictures, they don't connect anyone, but they're checking, they reaching out, they are giving free, they have business, they have a couple of companies actually. So I would say don't be too fast to qualify the customer if it is bad fit or good fit, but just being open, because opportunities can come, and the same customer that was bad fit now might be a good fit in few months or in half year, right? Because business always evolving, projects are coming, they winning government contract, now they need subcontractors. So everything is changeable. One thing is constant in logistics, that everything is changeable, right? So just being open that any customer can be a potential good customer, but also don't get caught up of like waiting, for that customer or that fee, like that lead that still not there, but also bringing, new leads that can be, turning a customer faster.
Mhm.
That's what I would say, because I had even customers that they say, oh, we have our own trucks, but then when it is a peak season, like in summertime, springtime, right? Paver company, now they need more capacity, they need my help. And even if it is just 2-3 months a year, right? I still make business and I still make revenue with that customer. So
yeah, that's great. That's great stuff right there. And those are just questions you need to ask. People should ask more, right? When are your busy seasons? So you can call back. And I would call back a month ahead before that, just kind of get your foot in the door. So that's really good advice there. Talk to me about emails. You mentioned emails on LinkedIn. How should people be tailoring their emails today? Because Jared and I noticed and talked with a lot of freight brokers, and they're kind of coming back saying, I think it's going to junk, or they're deleting it. How can people change up their emails today?
So actually, that's an amazing question. I just learned a few weeks ago about these two great tools that implementing AI. The point is to not have too many emails sent from the same email. So with my AI consultation, I set up email marketing. We basically buying 5 different domains, or we can even do more. And through one domain, we can get up to 5 emails. And from each email, first, of course, we warming it up. And then from each email, we only sending 35 emails. So it makes sure that it is ending up on customers' inbox rather than just using one email and sending bunch of emails and ending up on junk and spam. So that is a main first step that people who doing email marketing need to do first step, because no matter how amazing is your subject line, your email, right? It doesn't matter if it is ending up on junk. So that's what we do through AI, making sure that it is ending up on their inbox. Then, of course, the subject line, because this is the first thing that they will see. And also making sure that we give value first. Of course, it is kind of hard in logistics field because you're thinking, oh, what I should give. But there are different examples, as simple as just sending industry news or something that gives value as a person, right? Or say something nice about them, because these people, they want to have their problems solved. Also, you have to feed their ego. And my top thing is there is this joke, right? That they say the path to man's heart is the food. I believe that the path to shipping manager's heart is being funny, joke, and of course food too sometimes, But as far as the emails, that's what would be like my, best tips, like being able to end it up in inbox rather than just spam or junk, having a great subject line, giving value, and then asking, taking this sales process a little bit slow rather than just trying to gain their business right away. And another top thing, like my students, oh, Lida, he's not answering. No one is answering, but they are opening. I say, when they don't answer, actually, it is a good news, because When they answer, most of the time they will say, no, we are good, take us out from the list, we are all set up. But when they don't answer, they open, it means they're reading your emails. And I had this type of customers. I will email them 4 or 5 times, once a month even. It took me like 5-6 months to land that customer, but out of nowhere, when I keep showing up, being consistent, and they see that I am taking this serious and I'm following up, out of nowhere they will like, hey, can you code this plane, right? And this is an opportunity to show that, okay, I can handle this freight. They gain their trust and get more business. So that would be my main tips for email marketing. I'm giving all the tips today.
This is it. I mean,
even Josh is the same way.
I'm always like that, but today I'm feeling like more motivated because I see so many active people. I'm reading the comments. Thank you so much for being so active. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, and Gabe, man, Gabe, this guy here, Gabe Easter, I might have messed up your name, bro. But this guy he hammers the phone, Lita. 50 plus calls a day, probably more than that. And I'm with you, Gabe. Stop feeling, start calling. I'm a fan of call first and then send an email, right?
Yeah.
That they at least know that you're going to be emailing. But yeah, I'm with you. Maybe we need to talk about like face-to-face visits, Lita. Did you ever do any face-to-face visits?
Of course, that's one of my favorites. But to add up, stop emailing and calling. I didn't say that you have to only email. Like the best approach is multi-channel. You have to email. Of course, you have to get the phone and call and introduce yourself. You have to do LinkedIn prospecting, and of course, one of my favorite ones is face-to-face. I'm in a great state, South Carolina, big manufacturing state, especially for automobile, and I'm 1 hour away from North Carolina. Georgia is 2 hours away, so a lot of opportunities just to go and visit. Sometimes I get customers the same day, honestly. If I go to visit like 5-6 shipping managers and shake hands, I sometimes take with me cupcakes or some, sweets that I love. And it is amazing. Also, you learn a lot with just visiting and understanding the operation. Sometimes if they don't have business, when you are there, you can also ask, okay, you don't need my service, do you happen to know who might benefit from my services? Always ask that. And they give names because they are in business. Maybe they don't need freight broker, but they have suppliers, they have connections that they can, of course, share the information. And when you reach out to these people and you share that, hey, this person recommended to reach out, now you don't sound like another cold call person. You sound someone who did his homework, right? So very important.
Yeah, 100% a mixture of calling and emailing is best. But calling gets you in front of the people faster. 100%, man.
The comment I like was Benjamin, and I can't. I might miss now the other one. I might miss his last name here, but the mail drop. I love this. This is a little old school, but I love sending a handwritten letter. I'm a huge fan of sending just kind of a old school packet and just saying, hey, this is who we are. Check us out. I mean, not a lot of people get mail. I don't know about you. Do you have kids?
I do.
Yeah.
Sure, not a lot of people, because I honestly get a lot of emails and mails, and most of them are advertisement, and they end up on my service. I
think the funniest thing ever is subscribe your kids to something that comes in the mail. And when they get a package, there is an excitement that will go through them. Like, I'm like, oh, this is your mail. And they'll be like,
yes.
Why do I have something in the mail? And, like, my kids, like, hey, did I get anything in the mail? Like, it's the wildest thing. And so I think people getting something in the mail other than a bill is really neat.
Yes, because it is physical. It is not virtual. I agree. My kids, I have 2 girls. They get very excited when I get package because it is either their clothes, dresses, but they never got that mail. Maybe I should sign up them and they get excited too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I promise you, it's a very entertaining concept. I love it. I tell you what, a couple of things just to recap, because you go so hard, by the way. Multi-channel marketing, huge, have to do it. I love that you're talking about that. I think that there's so much value in just the last 20 minutes that I think people need to just rewind for a second and just kind of go, wait a minute, should you say this and this? Really good ideas on the email aspect of things. I loved that. You just go so hard. How do you, when it comes to just your health, when we got on, you were talking about drinking electrolyte water. How do you fill your cup? How do you keep the energy that you're at right now? Because this industry just brings it down some days.
Mhm.
How do you fill your cup? What excites you, or what gets you back to the to the next level to kind of keep you moving? You have too much. I've never seen anybody want to just kind of bulldoze their way through this industry like you are. And
Thank
how
you.
do you fill that? How do you fill that cup?
Well, I just wake up and I just love, I guess, what I do. And just the fact that today I had to show up here, it is already energizing me. And I guess I got distracted from all of the people and stuff that is not aligning with my goals. So it is just me, my home office, kids are there. Yesterday my oldest daughter's last day of school. So I told them, Mommy's gonna do podcast. Don't interrupt mommy. Don't come and ask me, give me this, give me that. So I'm just trying to, focus on my goals, which some things that I love doing, and just I guess being passionate about what you do is very important. And to be honest with you, I think work is my hobby. Maybe it is weird, but I don't have any hobby. Like I love baking, but like if you ask me like what would you do when you have free time, I would say I will work on my project because I love doing it. That's kind of energize me and gives me like this I guess uh, internal satisfaction that it makes me happy when I do some things and when I create something. So that's what I would say. And I work out, I go to swim, but not like, addicted or regular as much as I can. But that's what I would say. Maybe it is not like standard answer, but that's what works for me.
Yeah. Well, I think you're doing amazing, and you're also, I think you're touching a lot of people too with the content you put out.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Dan Adams' comment here. You're truly helping people, and that's the whole goal of why we do what we do, right? We want to give you a free, just a safe place to come and ask questions. No question is dumb.
Yeah.
Because you got to learn somewhere somehow. So I really appreciate the content you put out, Lita. I've been following you for nearly 4 years, and you've been very consistent and just.
You have seen everything right from the beginning, being a like new freight broker. I didn't post when I was a driver. I just started to posting after I became freight broker and landed my customer. And I appreciate you inviting me. And as you say, no question is dumb to ask, because this is my mantra. I remember when I was just starting out in freight brokerage world, especially because truck driver, you just drive, you don't deal with sales and stuff. So it is kind of not easy, but as far as like running business, you don't use that a lot of skills. You just, use your driving skills and of course, attention to detail, safety. But when you transition to business, you feel lost, you feel lonely. And I remember when I just started, there were people that didn't help me. And I was like very, feeling like down. But of course, there were more amazing people that just took time to even answer one question that, was kind of life-changing. Or I had my mentor, she would just sit with me and do cold call and helping me. So there are still amazing people that will help, and no question is dumb. And that's why I love sharing. I don't gatekeep, and I love, helping people.
Yeah, I love that. How do people get in touch with you, go through your training, just connect with you? Where's the best place to get in touch with you?
I would say best place is LinkedIn, but I also started my YouTube channel this year. I already got 1,400 subscribers, which I'm very excited. It is not, of course, too big, but I'm grateful for each and every one. I started my podcast this year, so I'm trying, to expand more social medias. I just didn't get there, but I would say LinkedIn would be the best way to reach out to me.
I love that. Well, Lita, we can't thank you enough for the value that you bring to our community. You're just an amazing person. Thank you so much. We're going to let you go, and we know you got work to do today. It's a Friday, so I hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, I need to cover my round trip power only.
Well, we'll let you go get that done. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and go check out Lita's YouTube channel and subscribe for her as well. And we'll tune in next week and we'll chat again. Thanks again, Lita.
Thank you so much. Have a great Friday.
You too.